Here's your heads up to this longer podcast. Well, it's not that long. It's sort of long. And it's all about an example from a client that gives us wonderful lessons, but also shows how the things that we do are the very opposite, or do the very opposite of what we're trying to do. The conflict between intention and behaviour. Have a listen. I think you'll find it, well, I found it interesting talking about it. I hope you find it interesting listening about it. And there's a little question at the end. Okay, I'll leave you to it. See you in a minute.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Cloughie. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
So here we are again. Hey, how are you? How are you? I'm doing pretty well. Hope you're doing the same. Paul here. And here's the thing. A little while ago, I worked with a lovely client who was really, really struggling. I'm going to tell you about that shortly and what we learned, because I think it gives us, well, a lot of insights and a lot of learning and a lot of hope. Good hope. The question to start off with, though, have you ever tried helping somebody who appeared, well, just not to take it, and the actions that they did was like communicating to you that they didn't want your help? You knew they needed it. You could tell them till you blew in the face, but they were just, going down this path. It's frustrating, isn't it? And especially if they're a really good friend, a best friend. That is so frustrating. Now, turn that on its head. Maybe, and I know this applies to me, but maybe we've been that best friend, doing things, even destructive things maybe, things that harm relationships, just take us into different places. And we end up pushing away the very people we want in our lives. Now that's very serious stuff. And it was. So I've got to change my voice a little bit because we'll all get so down. Goodness me. Because that's not how we do the work we do. But let's get into this lovely client, because they had a real struggle. And I want to show you what we learned, because it went so quickly. And we had to grab the solution, as it were, as it went by. Because I heard a lovely phrase the other day. It was from Captain Obvious, but it was obviously in plain sight, but hiding in plain sight, I think they call it. Funny that. You see, working with the client and the issue, well, we didn't work with the issue because it was drink. And we didn't work with drink because that's an effect of the problem. We worked with that. And that went away. I thought, awesome. And then they came back again. So they'd gone away for a little while. And then they came back a little bit out of the blue. And I said, what are you doing here? He said, drinks, no problem. Very rarely drink now. I'm okay. Might have a few beers, but just occasionally. Nothing like it used to be. So I'm really pleased with what we've done. But he said, I've been back to the drugs. I haven't been on them for a long time, but I've been back to them. Okay, this is quite new, or newish. I knew it was around there, but we thought that had gone. So I said, well, okay, what happened? He said, well, I went there and it has changed. We went there and the change was, I didn't like it, but I'm worried. I'm worried it's going to come back. And the thing is, the real problem is I'm scared. So he said, okay, so the problem isn't the drugs. It's an effect, isn't it? It's an effect of an issue. And we want to go to the cause, and that's how I work. We don't work on the effect. We look at the root cause of something. And when we deal with that, I just seem to find those effects seem to just disappear all by themselves. And all areas of life changes, because one change ripples out into so many different places. I always say, You'll never know how far the ripples of change will go. And they do. So what happened in this session, you see, because it's out of the blue. And we were talking and getting all this conscious stuff out, which was okay. But I just knew this wasn't, this is what we've been thinking about. And if we've been thinking about it long enough, because I always say to clients, if you think about this consciously for so long and you haven't resolved it, doesn't that tell you that it's created unconsciously, an unconscious choice? We know for the best intentions. Well, that's my philosophy. Every behavior, every choice we make has a best intention, a positive intention. Just sometimes the behaviors we tend to carry on using just are no longer appropriate. Anyway, we talked and we did a little bit of hypnosis just to go a little bit deeper below the surface and asked a question, a simple little question. What else? What else haven't I said? What's important? The one thing that if I got it would allow this issue to disappear. And the guy just went, and it might have been a guy and it might have been a lady, I'm not telling you. But they said, I don't know where this is coming from, Paul, but I've got love and appreciation. And I said, well, you've never, what do you feel when you have this love and appreciation come into your mind, bubbling up from your unconscious mind? He said, no, I really want it. That's the missing link, as it were. When I have love and appreciation, I don't need any of this. And one of the examples was, he said, I just know that when I get a text from my partner, just a silly little text showing to me they appreciate me, that they love me. He said, that makes me feel so good. It can just, little text on the phone and I go, that's made my day. Maybe only a sentence, but it makes my day. It makes me feel so loved, so appreciated. And I just said, well, that's so easy. So I'm taking it because you feel so loved and appreciated. You're going to reciprocate, aren't you? You send one back another time. And I said, actually, no, I don't. I just take that love and appreciation. And then after a while it disappears. Well, maybe that's that best friend of yours, not the one inside, but the one outside, trying like hell to intuitively give you what you want, give you what you need. And what are you doing? You're not responding. And then we looked at this and said, well, what happened in the past when you took drugs? And he said, well, people came, especially the people who I love. Well, they came and came around me and looked after me. And I said, and they said, well, actually, they showed me love and they told me how much they appreciated me and not to do the thing. But the thing is, here's a positive intention. I want love and appreciation for you. My best friend is my unconscious mind wanting love and appreciation for you. And now I've found a behavior that in the short term gets you love and appreciation. In the long term, it's absolutely tom-tit. That's Cockney slang. You've worked that one out. But, it is doing the best it can, but it just misses out a wonderful set of behaviours, emotions, because the thing it does gets love and appreciation there and then. But, and here's the big but, the more that behaviour of taking drugs was, it started off with a little bit and they got love and appreciation. So we do a bit more and a bit more until it got very serious. And that's when people started saying, well, maybe we can't help you anymore. You're pushing us away too far. So the very thing that initially got love and appreciation, a secondary gain, because you've got an issue that gets you what you want. So it's a secondary gain. We've talked about that before. But the very thing that initially got love and appreciation was actually pushing away the people who loved and appreciated them. So there's a conflict. When I said to this client, what would it mean to you if you could have that feeling of love and appreciation and knew it was there genuinely? How would that change your life? And the answer was, well, that would just be awesome, Paul, because I wouldn't need to do any of those old stuff. And whatever I do, would be knowing that I'm loved and appreciated. And I wouldn't need to see it I would love to see it. I'd love to feel it, as in, physiology, someone touching you, things like that. But I'd know inside that I am always loved and appreciated. And I said, how would you look on yourself when you did that? And that's when a little realization set in, I guess, when they said, well, I guess I'd love and appreciate myself, because at the moment they swore, but they don't. I said, I don't. But if I did, man, things would change. So what did we do? I can't tell you exactly what we did, because it's just a process of getting the unconscious mind to realize and understand that we really, as a client, desired that positive intention of love and appreciation, but to also realize the behavior, such as drugs and any negative behavior that created ill health and things like that, was actually in direct conflict with getting true love, true appreciation, for no other reason that, it's like unconditional love, unconditional appreciation, because that's what it felt like inside when he got it. And we did this process that we just evolved with us. And when it finished, it said, oh man, do you know what? I just feel it now. And we do the test. The biggest test I can do is go on then. You felt that old feeling before about half hour ago. Get it back now. You go, I can't get it back. And when you think about taking drugs, oh man, I don't need those either. I just want to show love and appreciation to those people first, because I know they'll give it back anyway, but it doesn't really matter, because I can just show it, and I want my life to be full of that, full of it. And it was like a real epiphany. And that's what tends to happen, I guess, when you're working in these ways, there's massive changes, absolutely massive changes in such a short period of time, because it doesn't, because what did we learn from this? The first thing is, well, not the first, these are not in any hierarchy, in any order. There's always hope. And I don't like the word hope too much, but there is no such thing as false hope, because hope is hope. Because I believe there is always a way. There's always a way. We can find the way to change. All we have to do is understand that the effect is not what we work on. We look to the cause, and then using the will to do whatever it takes, we can find a way. Find that conflict and get your best friend to go, oh, in a Homer Simpson way, and then go, okay, I'll find a better way. Come on, let's do it, Paul. So they can do it. The other thing I learned, well, I've learned this for so long, but what the client learned, we can change. And it doesn't need to be an extended length of time. We talked about this before. But once you get that realization, like an aha moment, an epiphany, or just something inside, just a tiny little switch changes. We can change in an instant. Yes, we sometimes need help. And all we have to do is ask for it by having the will to do whatever it takes. That's all it is. Finding the right person at the right time. And I do believe, I'm not calling teacher, but the right person comes along at the right time just for you. All you have to do is change your focus, change your desire, change your focus of attention into what you want. So if you want to change, how do I want to feel? Boom, something will happen. And the thing about this is, this was a huge issue. Certainly a huge issue in my client's life. And the effects of not changing would have been huge. But did it take a long time? No, I talked about it before. Was it a massive change? Yes. Just because it's a big issue, did we have to go through all sorts of stuff? No. We just get the unconscious mind to focus down. Was it painful for him? Sometimes just in that little bit of realization for a few seconds, but it wasn't painful. Sometimes we get tears, but they're tears of joy. Certainly at the end, they're always tears of joy. So big issues does not mean long time, lots of stuff. It can be just a tiny, and it's like, if you can imagine a massive, massive domino rally. Now, and they have all these little branches off. Well, if you tip one of those dominoes on one of those branches, yeah, you resolve one of those branches, but everything else is still there. And sometimes someone comes and stands them up again. But if you knock down the first one, the very first one, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to knock over the first domino in that domino rally, And he goes, click to the next one, and click, and click, and click, 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 click. And if you ever seen them on YouTube, if you haven't, I was going to say Google them, but yeah, Google them. YouTube, search them, and see some domino runners, and you can just see them all. And imagine that being the metaphor of change. One click, tip one little thing over, and boom, everything just has to clear, and making a beautiful pattern, but everything changes. And when you do that, you realize that there is a future out there, because there always is. The future is, well, time is a construct, isn't it? So we really got the now, but we can create wonderful, beautiful nows by just taking responsibility for ourselves and finding the right thing to do. So this is just a story, but it's a true story of serious things changing in an instant, carrying on that theme, I guess, from, mental health issues, because it just happened at the same time as I was making the notes for that particular podcast. This client came in. So it's not that long ago, but it doesn't matter how long ago, because I've seen this happen so many times over my experience with clients. Now, if big issues, and here's one of the other learners I've just come into my mind, if big issues can disappear really quickly, small issues, well, we'll deal with them. We don't always need a therapist to help us. I think it's great. In fact, I was talking to another therapist a little while ago, and they were having some issues. And I said, they said, I've done that process that you told me, but it didn't really change. It didn't do very much. And I said, well, did you do it yourself? I said, oh, yeah. So, well, maybe when you do it, you're not getting all those unconscious responses because you're having to think about the answer, think about the question. I said, what would happen if you just got someone to ask you the questions really quickly so you didn't have time to think? And they went, what, like I do with clients? I went, uh-huh. Oh, boom. Don't know where I went with that one, but it just means we sometimes need a little bit of help. Doesn't need to be big help, but we need some help. Even the best, I need help. God, I need help. I don't know how serious that was, but we will find out. Anyway, what I want to ask you a question is, I hope you enjoyed that. Just, to know, I will say, here's the thing. And I also say something like, that really pees me off. But, here's the thing. What was I going to say? Here's the thing. I wanted to ask you a question. Here's a question. Have you sent me an email on feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com? Now, I know the answer. But the thing is, I'm going to ask you, you've got a phone probably with emails on it. You've got a laptop probably, or a PC with emails on it, because everyone does emails and they do it very quickly. How long would it take you to type in feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com? You don't even have to put a subject in it. And then in the actual context box or the text box, just write what you enjoy, what you'd like to hear more of, what you don't like, or the things you've enjoyed, or maybe an issue you'd like a process for, and you restricted yourself to one sentence. How long would that take? Because that would give me so much pleasure to get that one email. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm not going to do this like a bribe, because some people would go, oh, do that, and I've got this lovely present for you. But, things will... Well, I'm thinking of something what could I record that I could just give back? But I'd like that email just to say, well, hey, Paul, I love this part, or can you do more of this? Or here's a subject that I don't think we've touched, or can you explain more than that? One sentence. Can you do that? How long would it take? I'm guessing, and I've seen people type with their thumbs, which I can't do. I've seen people do that in 30 seconds. There you go. That's my question to you. How long would it take you to do and press send? There you go. Let's see what happens. There you go. You see, there was another there you go. So, have more fun than you can stand. And I wonder, talking to your unconscious mind, when it will surprise you today to have you feel happy for no reason. I wonder what that would be like. See you real soon. Bye. So, the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple really. I wanted you to have them all in one place, so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable, so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you, it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals, and therefore I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.